Interpreting the film Eternity from a Buddhist Perspective Part 6.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. Today, we want to talk about a thought-provoking character from a movie, Shang. He starts as a pure, kind-hearted young man, but quickly transforms from a gentleman into a vengeful demon. This transformation reveals many truths about human nature, the dangers of bad influences, and the profound meaning of accommodating all beings and great compassion in Buddhism. Shang Meng's story shows us how it can take 3 years to learn to be good, but only 3 days to learn to be bad. Why is this? Because being good requires deliberate effort and long-term cultivation, while turning bad only needs a powerful environment with a negative influence. Shang Meng had an excellent foundation. His pure habits from past lives made him uninterested in worldly romance, and his current aspiration for goodness motivated him to study scriptures. He was guided by a good influence like his uncle, who prayed and read scriptures daily. He was like a pristine piece of white cloth, destined to remain pure forever. However, the arrival of Upati was the daivat that changed his destiny. She wasn't simply tempting him. She was a negative influence with vast worldly experience. She knew how to exploit human weaknesses and dismantle Shang Meng's defenses piece by piece. Giving books and chatting, she didn't start with romance. Instead, she began with a seemingly unrelated book, guiding Shang Meng's attention from his focus on trees and flowers to worldly topics, like dress and appearance. It was like boiling a frog slowly, causing Shang Meng to unknowingly stray from his path, dismissing roles while Shang Meng respected the boundaries of uncle and aunt. Upati constantly encouraged him to cancel the concept of roles, calling them constraints. In her words, boundaries became obstacles, and respect became old-fashioned. Shang Meng eventually chose to believe her. Shang Meng's downfall shows us that our moral defenses are not unbreakable. When we shift our trust from a good influence to a bad one, it's like putting a piece of white cloth into a daivat. It becomes almost impossible to clean. Throughout the movie, the uncle saw everything clearly. He saw through Upati's schemes and Shang Meng's confusion, and it even made him feel disgusted. But as a true great teacher, he didn't directly blame Upati or forcibly stop Shang Meng. This was a result of his profound wisdom and great compassion. Why didn't he interfere directly? Because the afflictions and karmic habits of sentient beings are too stubborn and difficult to transform. If the uncle had used forceful methods, telling Shang Meng directly that this woman is rotten, stay away from her, Shang Meng might have become more attached to her out of rebellion. Such forceful intervention could have deepened Shang Meng's emotional turmoil and caused him to lose the opportunity for self-awakening. The uncle's choice was to accommodate. He gave Shang Meng one chance after another to experience and verify things for himself. He hoped Shang Meng would see that what Upati was saying wasn't right and make his own choice. This accommodating all beings wasn't about letting him sink. It was ultimately to relieve his suffering. He knew that only by experiencing extreme pain could Shang Meng truly turn to the Dharma and practice it to completely let go. This reminds us that the true purpose of accommodating all beings is not to sink with them, but to use wisdom to guide them towards liberation. The uncle's deep understanding that suffering was Shang Meng's opportunity for awakening is a perfect example of great compassion. Shang Meng's downfall can be summed up by one thing: a lack of integrity. As the saying goes, without integrity, a person cannot stand. This integrity doesn't just refer to promises to others. It refers to the unwavering commitment to one's own beliefs. When his uncle told him to know your roles and keep them clear, Shang Meng didn't truly have integrity. He followed Upati's words and chose to cancel roles, which meant he completely took away his trust in his uncle. Once a person loses integrity, their character loses its foundation. They become like a cooked noodle that can't stand up and can only lie on the ground. In his confusion, Shang Meng's speech became vulgar and his character became unruly, all signs of a lack of integrity. This serves as a warning to each of us. Don't make promises lightly. But once you do, guard them as if your life depends on it, because your every word and action represents your integrity, which is the foundation of who you are as a person. Shang Meng's story is more than just a movie. It's a mirror reflecting our own inner selves. It's a profound example of growth, loss, and awakening. His experience shows us that we must always be vigilant against negative influences, that suffering can sometimes be a shortcut to liberation, and that integrity is the foundation upon which we stand and ultimately achieve our true selves. I hope today's sharing has given you some inspiration. Have you ever been lost and found your way back? That's all for today's show. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.